There are three ways to tell a real Gstaad billionaire from a mere millionaire tourist. First, they never check the prices, not even at the grocery store where a bottle of wine can cost more than a Ferrari. Second, they dress down, not up, because when you're worth 10 figures, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. And third, they know the true purpose of this fairy tale Swiss village isn't to show off wealth, it's to hide it. In today's episode, we'll illustrate how, in a world of flashy influencers and nouveau riche peacocking, Gstaad, Switzerland, remains the last bastion of old money discretion, where fortunes that could reshape nations move invisibly through quiet afternoon teas and casual ski lift conversations. But the real story isn't in what you can see, it's in what happens behind those quaint wooden facades, as we take you inside the secret life of Gstaad, Switzerland. Your first sight would likely be black Mercedes SUVs gliding silently through the snow-covered streets, with their tinted windows concealing passengers who collectively control more wealth than small nations. Indeed, this is Gstaad, where for most of the year, just 700 souls inhabit a town that looks like it was plucked from a snow globe. But right now, in the peak of winter season, the population has swelled to 3,500, and these aren't your ordinary tourists. They're the ones whose names appear in Forbes, whose business decisions shake markets, and whose casual lunch meetings can reshape industries. Walk down the car-free promenade, and you'll notice something different about this alpine town. The buildings are raw pine, unpainted and unassuming, as if playing down the extraordinary wealth contained within. But peek through the windows. There's Louis Vuitton displaying a single handbag like a museum piece, Hermès with a waiting list so exclusive that even millionaires must wait their turn, and Cartier, where the price tags are discreetly turned away from casual observers. The locals have seen it all. They've watched Madonna browse their boutiques, served coffee to Charles III, and kept their polite silence when Elizabeth Taylor slipped into their shops. In Gstaad, the ultra-wealthy aren't treated as celebrities. That's precisely why they come here. This is where billionaires can wear their casual clothes, where royalty can ski without security hovering visibly nearby, and where tech moguls can enjoy a simple coffee without being approached for selfies. Time magazine once called it simply the place. But that understates the carefully orchestrated dance that happens here. When a billionaire's child forgets their homework at their $140,000 per year boarding school, a private helicopter appears to deliver it. When an executive needs a last-minute dinner reservation at an impossible-to-book restaurant, doors mysteriously open. And when someone decides they need a bottle of cognac priced at 100,000 Swiss francs, the local grocery store, yes, the grocery store, can fulfill that wish. The truly fascinating details emerge in the quiet moments, like how the Prada store polishes its sign twice daily, keeping it gleaming against the alpine sun, or how the local luxury hotels employ staff just to change the orientation of terrace furniture throughout the day, ensuring that each guest has the perfect view of the sunset over the mountains. Even the drinking water flows from ornate public fountains, pure alpine spring water available to all, though you're more likely to see it being sipped by a duchess than a backpacker. But the real secrets of Gstaad aren't found in its luxury boutiques. To truly understand how the world's wealthiest have carved out this extraordinary sanctuary, we need to step inside that palace, where the true machinations of billionaire society play out behind closed doors. And what happens behind those doors would make even the most seasoned luxury hotelier raise an eyebrow. Now, the Gstaad Palace doesn't just sit above the town, it presides over it. A castle-like citadel where even having the means to afford its £1,800 per night suites doesn't guarantee entry. The hotel operates in an entirely different dimension of luxury, one where they don't merely train their staff, they orchestrate them. And each morning, an army of unseen workers polishes every crystal glass by hand, measures the precise angle of every placed fork, and ensures that the hotel's logo faces exactly the same direction on every folded towel. But here's what they don't tell you in the brochures. The palace is only open 6 months of the year, split between winter and summer seasons. This isn't due to weather or maintenance. It's a deliberate strategy to maintain exclusivity. During the off-season, the staff meticulously records every returning guest's preferences, from the exact temperature they prefer their coffee to which side of the bed they sleep on. One guest always receives precisely 3 extra pillows, never 2 or 4. Another must always have fresh orange flowers in their suite, but only baby romantica roses, and only on Thursdays. In the hotel's 5 restaurants, the choreography reaches new levels of sophistication. The staff doesn't just serve meals, they perform an intricate ballet of service where plates appear and disappear as if by magic, where wine glasses never drop below 1/3 full, and where no guest ever needs to make eye contact to receive attention. The legendary New Year's Eve celebration, with its £1,200 entry fee, and that's if you're already a guest, isn't just a party. It's a carefully curated gathering where the seating arrangement is planned months in advance based on global political alignments and business interests. Hidden beneath the palace lies a network of tunnels and staff corridors where an entire parallel universe operates. Here, personal assistants frantically source rare French cheeses for midnight cravings, security teams monitor discreet cameras, and concierges work their global networks to fulfill seemingly impossible requests. Want to propose on a mountaintop with a string quartet at sunrise? Need a specific vintage of wine that officially doesn't exist? In these corridors, such challenges are merely Tuesday morning tasks. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect of the palace isn't the luxury. It's the information that flows through its halls. Because while the ultra-wealthy come here to escape, they also come to connect. And it's in the paneled private rooms where deals are struck that reshape industries, where political alliances are forged, and where the children of the global elite are matched for potential future marriages. Yet these machinations pale in comparison to what happens at the institution that truly shapes Gstaad's future, the world's most expensive school. At first glance, the buildings of Institut Le Rosé blend seamlessly into Gstaad's landscape of understated alpine architecture. But make no mistake, this is the world's most expensive school, where a single year's tuition costs 140,000 Swiss francs, roughly $250,000. That means parents invest about $1.5 million for a complete high school education. But in the world of Le Rosé, that's just the beginning of the expenses. Consider the unofficial dress code. While the school maintains a modest uniform policy, students casually sport Moncler jackets worth thousands and limited edition watches that could buy a car. During weekend trips into town, teenage girls carry Hermès bags with the casual indifference of someone raised to expect nothing less. One student's basic ski equipment collection is worth more than many family cars. The true extravagance, however, lies in the details most visitors never see. Each student's quarters comes with a personal housekeeping service. The dining hall serves cuisine that would put many Michelin-starred restaurants to shame, with personal chefs accommodating every dietary preference and cultural requirement. When a student mentions missing their grandmother's special dish from Azerbaijan, it mysteriously appears on the menu the following week. But Le Rosé's most fascinating aspect isn't its luxury, it's its role as the world's most exclusive networking incubator. Here, the children of tech billionaires share chemistry labs with European royalty. A Saudi prince might partner with a Canadian mining heiress for a class project, forming connections that could reshape global industries decades later. The school maintains such detailed records of these student interactions that they can trace business deals and political alliances back to teenage friendships formed in their halls. The school's calendar reads like a luxury travel brochure. When winter arrives in Gstaad, the entire student body relocates to their Mediterranean campus near Lake Geneva. This massive logistical operation involves moving not just students and teachers, but also their horses, musical instruments, including multiple grand pianos, and whatever other accoutrements of privilege they require for their studies. Yet what truly sets Le Rosé apart is its shadow curriculum, the unwritten education in power, privilege, and global influence that occurs between classes. Students learn to navigate multiple cultures effortlessly, switching between languages and social codes as easily as they change designer outfits. They master the art of discretion, understanding instinctively what information to share and what to guard. Most importantly, they learn to wear their extraordinary privilege with the same casual nonchalance as their parents display in Gstaad's high-end boutiques. But to truly understand how the ultra-wealthy maintain their lifestyle in Gstaad, we need to examine where they shop. Not the designer boutiques on the promenade, but the places that cater to their everyday needs, where a simple bottle of orange juice might cost more than some people's daily wage. Forget Louis Vuitton and Hermes for a moment. The real spectacle of wealth in Gstaad happens in the most unexpected place, the local grocery store. Push open the heavy wooden doors of Pony Food and Wine, and you'll step into what might be the world's most extraordinary supermarket. Here, the first thing that greets shoppers isn't produce or bread, but a champagne fridge that would put most wine sellers to shame. Just steps inside, a bottle of cognac casually displays its 100,000 Swiss franc price tag, and they've sold 2 this season alone. The fresh juice section tells you everything you need to know about Gstaad's parallel economy. A simple bottle of freshly squeezed orange juice costs 14 Swiss francs, about the same as 2 hours' wages for many workers in Switzerland. But in Pony's world, price is merely a suggestion. Wealthy customers often buy cases without glancing at the cost, their personal chefs particular about using only the freshest ingredients in their morning smoothies. In the store's cave-like cellar, the real treasures await. The caviar selection starts at 1,000 Swiss francs per tin, displayed in temperature-controlled cases with the reverence most jewelers reserve for diamonds. Personal shoppers, yes, the grocery store has personal shoppers, guide their clients through vintages of rare wines, discussing terroir and tasting notes as if they were analyzing investment portfolios, which, in a way, they are. Many bottles here appreciate faster than some stock market investments. Even the basics take on new meaning. The bread section features loaves flown in daily from specific bakeries in Paris and Vienna. The cheese counter requires a minimum 24-hour notice for certain rare alpine varieties, some aged in caves accessible only by helicopter. And yes, they'll arrange that helicopter if a client insists on visiting the cave personally. But the true insight into billionaire life comes from watching the interaction between staff and customers. When a Russian oligarch's wife calls to request her usual order, the staff knows this means precisely 17 items, including mineral water from a specific Norwegian glacier and coffee beans that must be roasted no more than 36 hours before delivery. When a Saudi princess requests the usual breakfast spread, they prepare a 300-item delivery without checking a single note. The most telling details emerge in the special requests log. One regular customer requires their avocados to be ripened at exactly 21 degrees Celsius for precisely 48 hours. Another insists their chocolate must never be stored within 2 meters of any mint products, as it might affect the taste. These aren't viewed as demands but as puzzles to be solved, each solution adding to the store's encyclopedia of elite preferences. Yet even this extraordinary grocery store is just one piece of the daily infrastructure supporting Gstaad's billionaire lifestyle. Because when the world's wealthiest finish their shopping, they need somewhere to go, and that's where things get really interesting. December 20th isn't just another date in Gstaad. It's when the curtain rises on the world's most exclusive performance. Like clockwork, the private jets begin their choreographed descent into the nearby private airfield. The Palace Hotel's doors swing open, and the town's population quintuples overnight. But what happens in the next 3 months reveals the true face of elite society that few outsiders ever glimpse. By 7 a.m., before most tourists stir, the real power breakfast begins. Tech billionaires and old money Europeans cluster in discreet corners, their smartphones face down, conducting the kind of conversations that won't be reported in any financial press. One morning might see the quiet orchestration of a corporate takeover. a royal family quietly negotiating their child's marriage prospects. The staff has mastered the art of selective hearing and selective silence. The true social calendar operates on whispers. Yes, there are the public events, the snow polo tournament, the classical music festival, but these are merely the backdrop. The real action happens at private chalets where guest lists are never written down and phones are checked at the door. Here, over dinners that cost more than some cars, the ultra-wealthy perform their most crucial ritual, deciding who belongs and who doesn't. Even the skiing follows unwritten rules. Certain runs become unofficially private at specific hours. A Saudi royal family might have unofficial priority on one slope from 10 to 11 a.m., while a tech mogul's security team quietly ensures another run is coincidentally empty when their boss wants to ski. The ski instructors, who make more in private lessons than many lawyers earn annually, know to be conveniently fully booked when the wrong sort of wealthy tries to book a session. The town's services operate in a parallel economy. Need a last-minute helicopter to Paris? The concierge knows which pilots are discreet enough for midnight flights that don't officially exist. Want to propose on a mountaintop at sunrise? They'll ensure the peak is mysteriously empty of other hikers. One billionaire regularly has fresh sushi flown in from Japan, not from Tokyo, but from a specific small-town sushi master who serves no one else outside Japan. But perhaps the most telling detail is what happens after the season ends. When March arrives and the palace closes its doors, Gstaad doesn't just empty, it exhales. The billionaires retreat to their other homes in Monaco, Manhattan, or Mayfair. The shops quietly restock their most exclusive items. The hotels meticulously record every detail of their guests' stays, preparing for next season's performance. And the 700 year-round residents? They return to their quiet lives, keeping their secrets and tending to their town, knowing that in 9 months they'll once again raise the curtain on one of the world's most extraordinary shows. The secret season of Gstaad, where the true face of global wealth reveals itself far from the world's prying eyes. And now, I'd like to see you in the comments. What's your opinion of Gstaad after this tour? Is it a bucket list dream location? Or is it a cringy example of the wealthy flaunting their billions in the mountains? I can't wait to hear your thoughts. And thanks for joining me for another episode. Ta-ta, until the next video.